Hey, welcome to the Hired AV podcast. My name is Joe Way, and I am your host. And now we have a good one for you today. We have some of my favorite episodes, and this will actually be for two reasons. Okay, two reasons today. One of my favorite types of episodes because I love return guests. First off, so therefore we got a redo, sort of, but going to be in a different way around today. And I love our conference preview episodes because, as you know, our vertical is unique. We're very unique in the sense that we are more of a community and collaborators rather than competition. So our AV conferences that we have within the higher ed vertical are essential to our identity, who we are in building our community, and hence why every year it is now it is now part of the history, the tradition. I guess tradition's a good word of doing a preview episode. And I'll be doing some recordings there, which I'll give you some more information on that as we go through. But it's ETC. ETC is coming up. See, by the time you're listening to this, it'll be 2 weeks, but technically 3 weeks from today. And so it's coming up. Oh, actually 3 weeks from tomorrow.
3 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah, something like that. All right. So again, everyone's favorite part of the show where I shut up and George starts talking. So George, please introduce yourself. So what college you went? Tell people, pretend they don't know who you are, and then talk about your role with ETC.
Sure. My name is George Chacko. I am the director of Classroom Technologies here at Pace University, New York. I oversee our Pleasantville campus, law school, and the New York City campus. One of my other roles is the president of ETC, Educational Technology Collaborative. And our annual conference is coming up in 3 weeks, as Joe mentioned, September 20th to September 23rd at USC.
You almost messed that one up.
Oh, well, so close. I mean, last year was UCF, this year's USC. That's, it's confusing enough. But as Chris has said in the past, us AV folks love our acronyms, right? But seriously, if you haven't registered for the annual conference, you need to do it now. You don't want to miss this one. So that's my little sales pitch.
Awesome. All right. So let's start with that. So let's, we have to pretending. Let's pretend people listening to the show and they don't know what ETC is because they might not, because it had a different name before. So tell people about the organization itself.
Absolutely. So ETC was previously CCUMC. Folks might be more familiar with CCUMC. CCUMC has been around for a long time. Pace University has been a active member of CCUMC I'm just going to say 20 plus years at this point. It's just really a collection of fantastic individuals in our industry, our higher ed technology industry specific for our classroom technologies. Even before I got on the board and on the committees and such, when I was just participating, we used the listserv as a database of knowledge, really, right? And then now my staff they use the Connecting in the Cloud series that ETC, previously CCUMC, provide, and they use that as almost like a continuing ed for our technology learning needs, so to speak. Now we have regional events that are happening, and they've been received with great success so far. We've hosted 3. We have a couple more in the works. ETC, previously CCUMC, is continuing that really rich tradition of bringing our folks, our group of people, our technology, higher ed technology compadres, so to speak, together, and it's a share of knowledge and information that we use. It's a really tight-knit community, Joe, as you know, and it's not like, oh my God, I need to hold this information back. People are willing to talk to you. If I have an issue, chances are you've been through it too. If you've had an issue, there's a good chance the membership has as well. And that's really what this community is about, is that tight-knit group of people just working together to really help each other get through our day-to-days, really.
Yeah. No, you totally nailed it right there. Because, I remember going, I discovered ETC, I want to say almost by accident, back when it was CCUMC. Saw the literature. I remember signing up for the group because it was like I came from a whole different vertical, came from live event. I didn't know, what is this classroom technology thing,
Right.
who are the people and all that. And I remember going to the first conference at Utah, and it was one of those, like, I've been on the lister, kind of getting that, all right, it's great. I'm kind of seeing names, but when I showed up to the conference, it was like that. I remember texting Randy, who was my associate director just back when I was at Cal Baptist, and going, I found our people. They're here. There's this thing exists. And like literally after every session, I'm like texting him, like, okay, what about that? Let's do this takeaway, And
Yeah.
it was like, okay, this was amazing. And
Yeah.
that was kind of for me a big turning thing to go, wow, this is, to have the like-minded colleagues, right?
Yeah.
And that was, and kind of taking that, like, if we could take Infocom, but just pull our subset out and just spend time focusing on us, that's what you get, right?
Right.
And so it's now one of those like can't miss events for me. And I shouldn't miss it because it's kind of around the corner from me this year.
I was going to say, it's right in your backyard.
I know. So, ironically, see, I could say it's at my campus, but the day people are listening to this is my first day working as the executive director at UCLA. So this is a little awkward to talk about a conference that I kind of was planning with you all. And then kind of send an email.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been working really hard to say, and on your campus or Joe, I'm trying really hard to keep away from
alum, though. I'm still a USC alum, so I can still say it's on my campus. Sort of, right?
Yeah.
And I just get to go and attend now. It's no stress. So, all right. So it is at USC, University of Southern California. You got an opportunity to go stop by campus and get a pre-look with the board and all. So, tell everyone, what are so they don't hear my biased version of how amazing everything. What was your instinct on campus? What were your takeaways, your thoughts, etc.?
Yeah, it's a beautiful campus. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was the first time I've been on the USC campus, and it's an absolutely gorgeous campus. Very comfortable setting if you were to walk around from buildings to buildings. The conference itself is taking place at the USC hotel for the most part. There's a handful of sessions that will be happening on campus, but the look and feel of the college environment and everything around, which we'll get to in a minute, with certain events like dinner with friends and such. The vibe is going to be very LA, very California-like. The hotel is very inviting. The meeting rooms are very spacious. We're working through the logistics of everything, but the weather's going to be great. It's going to be a great group of people. USC staff that you may be aware of, Joe. They were so welcoming. They were, Raj was there, Chi was there. I think Lex was out that week, but she's been fantastic helping us get everything together. But it was really just, it was really fantastic seeing everybody in person. Will joined us too. And, it's a really close-knit group, and we're looking forward to this conference.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so you got an opportunity. I know there's going to be a couple of pre-conference events, one at the Digital Creative Lab, which I called in from when you hosted your ETC regional event, right?
And it was a big hit.
Yeah. And so talk a little bit about, I guess, kind of two sides. Well, what were your thoughts on the creative? That's kind of cool, isn't it? So people are going to enjoy that. But talk about the pre-conference events now, because you can go. I guess we didn't need. We're both podcast hosts, and we made a rookie mistake. We didn't even tell people when it is. How about September 20th to the 23rd of 2023? Huh? How about that?
Yeah. I thought I mentioned, but maybe not. So yes, the September 20th to the 23rd, and the pre-conference is on the 20th. Yeah. As you mentioned, we're going to have the Digital Creative Lab workshop, where folks will show us exactly how that amazing space came together with a hologram studio, which is obviously the first thing that everyone's going to want to see. The esports lab, the podcast studios, and honestly, the tech in me, the part that I was genuinely most impressed about, was your control room, your war room, with your 18 TVs monitoring every single classroom and every single piece of tech, and it'll be a workshop on how that came together, what it takes to put something like that together. And I think that's going to be fantastic information for folks to just take away, even as a part of the conference as a whole. Then we have the SAVE sustainability workshop, which I'm sure a lot of folks are looking forward to. And we're really excited. I think the pre-conference online sessions have already kicked off, and it'll culminate with the in-person session on Wednesday. I believe it's a half-day workshop.
Mhm.
Wednesday. So just right off the bat, right off the pre-conference workshops, this conference is going to kick off with a big bang.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And then speaking of which, so the kickoff, little sponsor stuff, and then dinner with friends is a special thing at ETC. Talk about dinner with friends.
So dinner with friends started last year at UCF. And Donnie Merritt, the past president, he did such a fantastic job with last year's conference that it's really a big task to follow what he put together last year. I thought it was done wonderfully, and one of the reasons it was a big success was the dinner with friends options. So a lot of times, our folks aren't necessarily the most outgoing, extroverted sort of group of folks. So it's always like when you hang out with the people that kind of stuff. Like, how do we get folks more engaged? That's where dinner with friends was born. So we have interest groups that are there, and they'll be, on our guidebook, you'll have all these different interest groups and folks that are putting the groups together. You go out, whether it's LA Live, whether it's, I forget, but there's a bunch of places that are spec'd out. I think there's about 12 or 13 interest groups out there. Just go in there, pick an interest group, head out Wednesday night, have a blast, get to know the people, form a bond, form a friendship, have dinner, have a couple of drinks maybe, and then come back next day ready to just wonderful information that you're going to come away from this conference, because we have an amazing lineup of presenters over the next 3 days after that.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to love it. And I know the interest group, people get a chance. USD obviously is in, just south of downtown Los Angeles. We call it in downtown. I mean, it's just down the street. LA Live, people have seen Staples Center, now Crypto.com Arena, Microsoft Live, ESPN is there. There's a lot of great stuff. It's a great entertainment venue. And I know a bunch of the dinner with friends. The one I signed up for, we're going to Joey's, which is a classic to me. It's about 2 blocks away from LA Live, but I'm sure everyone will end up there at the end of every night. It is the place to go in LA. And you don't have to worry too much about traffic, because you don't even have to get on the freeway to go, which is, there's the positive right there.
Yeah.
All right. So then we're there. We're going to pretend you're waking up without a hangover. We're going to pretend. And then you wake up. Take us through the next 2 days, which are the core conference days.
Sure. The next 2 days is going to be very busy. There's going to be, like I said, there's a wonderful list of presenters that are happening. We'll have our admin leadership interest groups happen in the morning of. We'll have breakfast. There'll be an amazing keynote that will be presented at the session. Then we'll start breaking into sessions where we're doing AV over IP. We're doing project delivery process, and so on and so forth. The dedicated showcase for the vendors. That's always, I think, a wonderful opportunity to figure out, in our roles, sometimes we get so involved in the day-to-day process that R&D takes a backseat, right? And I think this is the showcase. Like you said, at Infocom, it's so large. It's such a huge venue that, we're able to walk the floor and see all this stuff, but you don't necessarily get that personal time with the vendors, right? Because they're running to their next schedule. So this is more tight-knit, this is more personal, and you get to stand there and talk to the vendors, see what your options are, and really understand what you can come away with and how you can use that in your institutions. So the showcase, it comes with lunch. We're doing something new this year called Meet the Board. So grab a lunch, have your lunch, come meet with us in one of the session rooms. The board will be there. I just want to say this about the board. What a wonderful group. I mean, what a wonderful group, right? So we have Donnie, from past president. Karen's our incoming president, and she's just such a go-getter, spark plug, right? That's the right way to put it. I think that's the right terminology. Just wonderful direction for leadership. And our board, whether institutional, I don't want to start naming people and forget somebody. So I'm just going to say our board of directors, institutional and corporate partners, they're fantastic. But, Christy Howard and AMR, like, they are the heartbeat of making this whole thing work. I'm amazed every time I talk to Christy how she puts all this stuff together. It's amazing. So just quick plug, shout out to Christy. She's a magician, right? But then we'll continue with the show, and there's more like Zoom nightmares, and talk about high flex rooms. Wink, wink. There'll be a group talking about introducing an AV program to your university in a 4-year degree setting that's never been done before. So that'll be a fun listen. Then
who's teaching that one?
I don't know. The rumor is it's a couple of bald guys from Pace University.
There you go.
Really good speakers from what I hear. But again, we have our awards dinner on Thursday night, which is always a great gathering. We have dinner, which will be followed by ice cream social by the IDEA committee, which will be a wonderful way to get together. Thursday, we'll have a little get together in the evening at the LA Coliseum, which I'm really looking forward to. It looks like a beautiful venue. It looks like an amazing setting. And that'll, wrap up a really busy Thursday and Friday and lead us into a Saturday event where we'll still have some more sessions, some emerging technology interest groups, some focus groups. Our friends from SCOMS will be there and they'll be presenting. Our friends from AETM will be there as well, and they will be presenting as well. So the membership will get to meet other organizations like HETMA, like SCOMS, like AETM, and just build that, like I said, CCUMC/ETC is such a tight-knit group, but to know that there are more like us out there and just form that partnership beyond borders is going to be a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And then we'll finish the day with, campus tours around USC. So that in a nutshell is what this conference is going to be.
Yeah. It's going to be jam-packed with learning sessions, community. And that's one thing I love about it is the way it's set up to really spend time together, learn together, both socially, professionally. There's a lot that goes on behind it. When you were out here, did you get a chance to tour the Coliseum?
That was the one I missed. I was not able to make it to that one, but
pretty amazing.
I think
it's amazing what $500 million can buy. It's well worth it. It's well worth it. Everyone will enjoy it. And if I'm not mistaken, because I haven't been in the planning, they are doing it up in the 1929 upstairs on the roof, right?
I believe so.
Best view of all of Los Angeles. So
I think a lot of us will be taking selfies of the Hollywood sign, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?
You can indeed see the Hollywood. I mean, here's the thing: if you take a selfie from up there, because the camera, you won't actually be able to see the Hollywood sign.
Okay.
Right. You know what I mean? You know how you stand for instance because the difference in space, but it will technically be there, but you will get the LA skyline behind you.
Okay.
So that is well worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I don't know. I think, hopefully they light the torch for you. I don't know if the torch will be lit or not, but so yeah, you'll enjoy that for sure. We'll enjoy that for sure. I love everything. That's going on. I love the vendor sessions and stuff. I'm proud that, like as HETMA, we're coming in as a corporate sponsor. So other corporate sponsors, if you still want to, find ways to get connected in, because we are, because we just believe in the organization and supporting our vertical. And so we'll be doing some live podcast recording from there. Actually, the booth will just be a podcast booth. So we're taking Infocom Mini out there, so we can do some people on the street type of stuff throughout that week. So that'll be a good time. And I just love our community together and just everyone getting together. You're going to enjoy it. The campus is beautiful. And then also, I'm not going to ask you a question because I'm going to tell you the stuff. The opening keynote. All right, listen, everybody. Bring a box of tissues. And I ain't lying. Okay, when you hear Sam talk, okay, I don't know how to say this. So one of the things that we had at USC is called the Shoah Foundation. The Shoah Foundation was founded by Spielberg as part of capturing Holocaust, the testimonies of Holocaust survivors. And there's some amazing testimonies. And now it's actually expanded into all genocides. And there's some amazing technologies and hologram technology and things that are being used to capture that and catalog that. And so Sam's going to talk a little bit about, obviously, the geeky side of this for us tech nerds, but also the human side behind it. And the things you're going to see. I'm just going to prep this. If you aren't in tears, I've actually heard this thing at least 7 times, and it's still, I weep like a baby every single time. And because it's just sad to see how humans can treat other humans. And to see the work, and this is what I'm going to hope, that when you come away from that, is to remember that what we do in technology matters, right? And you can use technology for better. And I look at George, like the things you're doing with creating an education program there at Pace, how we can use our tech to create and change lives, right? And that's what the Shoah Foundation is doing too with Holocaust survivors. And hopefully you'll see that through the rest of USC campus. I mean, I've been joking here that, yes, I'm not at USC anymore. However, I'm very proud of what we have done there, because we really wanted to use technology to change lives and make our classrooms be able to support the needs and desires and of the faculty and the university, and to keep pushing the university mission forward, right? And I think that's what you're all going to come from. And when you start by seeing things like SAVE certification, USC is the first, and I think currently only, SAVE certified college campus. We're using sustainability things for that. And then you go to that pre-conference, you hear Sam discuss how technology can be used to capture genocide testimonies and what we can do and change lives that way. And then all the way through the education, the community, and then ending at an icon of the world in the LA Coliseum, and seeing how all that pulls together. I'm excited about it. And I think that you all will be too. And if you don't come away from this conference just changed, I would be surprised. And that was my soapbox. That was
brilliant. That was brilliant. You should have sent that to me in a script. I should have said that.
Absolutely. Or I should have sent you a quick this as a podcast host.
All right. No, I'm kidding. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, man.
And so now to say, out of all of those things, what are you looking forward to the most?
What am I looking forward to the most? It's gonna sound really small or tiny, whatever. But every year, every time I go to the conference, I'm always curious to know who the first time attendees are. And this year we have, I'm just looking at the numbers so I make sure I've read. We have 65 folks that checked the first time attendee box, and we have 49 new members in attendance. So I'm really looking forward to meeting those members, connecting with them, right? Because the membership really can only grow if everybody buys in and everybody has a stake in the organization, right? You only sell what you believe in. That at the end of the day, right? That's sales 101. So meeting the new members, discussing what ETC is, what CCUMC was and continues to be through ETC, and how they can join, participate, and help grow, and become this like focal point of classroom technology, for lack of a better way, is really what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I think that those are good stats, first timers. That's good.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And I want to read it because I want to make sure it was right and I wasn't botching those numbers.
That is good. And it's still on regular registration. We're not even late registration. We know a lot of people are late, like me. I'm always late. But actually I did pretty good this year. I did better than usual. Actually, I don't think I am registered, but we got a booth. That's close enough. We know we're going to be there. So that said, I love that stat. That's amazing. One thing I think people should know, especially if you're listening to this and you're wondering whether or not you should attend, and the answer is yes. Okay, let's just solve that.
Yeah, it's a simple answer. It's a yes or yes question.
Hotel is sold out, so that is something to note. But there are hotels down. I'm going to just throw it. Look, Hotel Figueroa, right right at LA Live. That's where I'm staying. There's a bunch of other people staying there too. Late people. There's the spot. There's the hot spot. Everyone ends at LA Live anyway. It's like, so
Right.
people who want to know, LA Live is like the Point Orlando of Infocom. Everyone just ends up there at the end of every night. Everyone ends up at LA Live, or we've got the lab and Rock and Riley's too at USC. So, those are the two keys.
Rock and Riley was actually a lot of fun. I think we were there, and that was a fun place to be.
Rock and Riley's is great. And I don't know if Traddy's will be open. There is an underground nightclub on the middle of campus. I don't know if it'll be open. And also Lab. I don't know if the Lab will be open. It depends on what's going on. They open sometimes and they don't. But you'll have good. And McKay's is attached to the hotel. That's the actual official restaurant, right, at the hotel and stuff. So people will enjoy that. But yeah. So there you go. If you're looking for your hotels, when you say you go,
I'll give you a quick Rock and Riley. I'll give you a quick Rock and Riley story. We were there for dinner, and you just know when a group of AV folks walk into any space really, because no one's looking at a menu or next to each other. Everybody's looking around saying, that TV is interesting. I wouldn't use that projector in this space. So that was the conversation for about the first 10 minutes of dinner, and nobody was looking at the menu. Nobody was looking at it, but it's a wonderful space. The music was wonderful. They had soccer on every TV, which is amazing for me because I'm a soccer guy. It's wonderful ambience. But again, hotels in a 2-mile radius, there's a ton of them. Hotel Figueroa, the Moxie's right there. Again, in a 2-mile radius, there's tons of hotels.
To the north.
So to the north.
Careful when you say radius.
I'm sorry. To the north. 2 miles.
2 miles north.
2 miles north. Right. Don't make a left out of USC Hotel. Make a right. How's that?
Yeah, much better.
But no, it's a wonderful setting. We learned a little history about USC that I won't divulge now, but I'm sure you'll figure it out when you get there, about the little mascot that we found out about. A little history lesson there. But it's a wonderful campus. It's a beautiful setting. It's California. It's going to be great.
Now I don't know which mascot, because there are a couple of them.
Well, the Trojan, right?
Well, Tommy's not actually the mascot.
Well, that's what I was trying to say, because everybody thinks the Trojan.
Tommy is. See, that's what I'm saying. Right. So you can give it away, yeah. Traveler, technically. And before that, George Tirebiter was at the other end. All right, there we go. See, I know way too much. I was a Trojan Knight too. I'm my fraternity. We had to learn that stuff. So you want to know a fun fact about Rock and Riley's? So when I go there, I will go to Rock and Riley's, because it is I do dearly miss Rock and Riley's. Besides my team, it's what I miss most about USC. First off, did you know that on the roof right above where you were, there's a swimming pool? Huh?
Did not know that.
Yes, because the village is like, it's all retail on the bottom floor, and then residence lights and stuff above it. So there's a swimming pool and stuff like that for residents. But fun fact about Rock and Riley's for everybody is we owe our lives to it. When we were doing our installs over the pandemic, right? We were getting all that done. Everywhere on campus closed except for Rock and Riley's, because they have an outdoor patio, and the Starbucks that's literally right next to our offices and where you see the creative. Everyone will see there's a Starbucks there. You'll stop there because you walk through. That's where you have to get. Anyway, those are the only 2 places that stayed open throughout the pandemic, and the only people on campus was my team, public safety, and like the janitorial staff, right? And Rock and Riley's, I'll use that outside, had a special, a burger, fries, and a beer for $10 out the door.
Wow.
Now, it is not that cheap anymore, but we kept them open. They kept us alive. We were there every day. So I feel like even when we have vendors come over and we do things, we always go to Rock and Riley's. I think we owe our life to that place, even though there's a ton of other great restaurants and things open now. That's home. That's right. Just home, So yes, so Rock and Riley's is forever, part of my identity, because it helped us survive the pandemic.
And you know what? You just reminded me, I should make that Starbucks advertisement more, because that really is a selling point for folks. There is a Starbucks about 50 meters to the left of the hotel, and one right in the middle of campus that you can't miss. So for all those that need coffee like myself, it's always going to be right there for us.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, we're big coffee people. I mean, everyone's big coffee people, but we're big. Do I have to bring you more of the coffee that?
No, I was going to tell you, you're going to have to bring me to Bodie Leaf so I can buy some of my own.
There you go. It's. I mean, it is in Orange County though, so it's a little bit of a trek. But you know, if you want to come in, we can come down. We'll stop by my boat, can hop on the boat and stuff. All right. Anyway, we're getting up. See now we're not even talking. This is
tangents.
This is about each. This is what happens in an ETC. Is the conversation just goes and it becomes about building community and building friendship, right? Yes. That's really what happens. So our getting off track is exactly what you'll expect there. And that to me is also one of my, if I say, one of my favorite memory or thoughts of an ETC is just the organic, hallway time. You know what I mean? Like that passing. The session's great. Yeah, sessions are great. But I mean, that time in between, just standing there. I don't know how many sessions I'm late for showing up because I just get into conversations with people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And even during the lunches, the dinners. I mean, again, InfoComm is great, and that's the hub for us on this side of the world. And, Joe, I saw you at InfoComm 2 or 3 times, and it was all in passing because we're all running to go somewhere and just feel so busy and so hectic. And this is really just consolidated to us. And we have time for each other. And you, like you said, you meet in the hallway, is, the quote unquote water cooler chat and just catching up. And it feels like people know each other's families and people. It's a really, really warm, welcoming setting and a really, really good sense of belonging for the membership, really.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, as we start to kind of wind up, now people know I normally do a rapid round of questions, but and it is, but since you've been on and on, this is really a preview, so I'm not going to do it. But we're going to kind of change it. So I have to change your favorite college tradition because, well, one, you've been on and answered that too,
right?
This. So I want you to say this: what is your favorite ETC CCUMC moment from the past?
ETC CCUMC moment. This one is, you don't want to make this one about me. I'm looking at it right now. So yeah, in 2014, CCUMC put out a call for a leadership award. And full disclosure, I didn't think much of it. And we're sitting at dinner. We're sitting at the awards dinner. And I was sitting with my coworker, and lo and behold, my name is called. But I'm not expecting anything. So I continue eating, and my coworker Tony goes, "Dude, that they're calling you." I was like, "What?" So my staff, without me knowing, had put in for me for that award, and it's very special. In 2014, it was a long time ago, but it still hangs on my wall, and it's something I'm very proud of. And that was probably the moment that I'll remember for a long time.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. I like that for sure. My favorite ETC CMC moment is I'm lighting the damn cannon. That cannon in Poughkeepsie. Oh my gosh! I feel like that was the most fun. I jumped and screamed like a little toddler. It was fantastic. All right, that's good. That's good. Okay, next wrap around question. What has been your favorite ETC CUMC city or hosting campus?
City. Now I got to think. I'm going to say last year. I'm going to say UCF so far because it was special in a different way because I was on the board for the first time, but just everyone coming back. It was the first conference post-pandemic. The Connecting in the Cloud series and the virtual conference, everything was fantastic, really was. But seeing people back in person again after everything we went through and just like picking up like you never missed a beat. You know what I mean? Like it was really, really amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and say from that perspective, I want to say Florida UCF was probably my favorite.
All right. I like it.
With Portland as my second, because that's where I got that award. So
there you go. That works. That works. Yeah. And I would say Utah for me, and only because that was my first one. I was excited to meet the people, new into our vertical. I remember I had just started, because that was in October, and this podcast episode 1 was on September 12th of that year. So I was on episode 5, I think, at that point. And I remember Gina Sansevero like taking my stickers and going, make sure you give these to everybody. And she was like pushing me to like start promoting it. And like, so if it weren't for that pivotal conference, a lot of us having this conversation right now would have never happened, And so that to me, so it's got to be that.
See, ETC is special in so many ways, and can't wait for our new members to make these memories and make these moments for themselves. So really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. All right. So very last question then. Actually, it's technically second to last question, but we'll say the last real question. It's some advice. So for new people or returning people, what is your advice for having a successful ETC conference?
I just remember my first time. Don't be shy. Just, we are very approachable. Come up to us. We'll have tags, whether it's the board or longtime members or whatever it is, come up, ask questions, be a part, go out to dinner with friends, you really, really get to know folks when you break bread with them, right? Grab dinner with a group and get to know them and really just get involved. And then once you come away from the conference, really get involved. We have so many committees you could be a part of. The elections are coming up. You could be on the board. It really is a membership. It's a membership-driven organization. Our members really make us who we are. So really participate. Get involved and be proud that you're a member of ETC.
Love it. I'm proud to be a member. I'm proud. So absolutely, I totally agree. The very last question. How can people get a hold of you personally, and how can they learn more about ETC?
Sure. You could email me at gchacko@pace.edu. I'm also on LinkedIn, George Chacko. Our ETC is you can find us on LinkedIn, ETC, Educational Technology Collaborative as well. And what was the last question? I'm sorry.
Oh, just how they can find out information on it.
So you could go to the website. I think it's
I didn't know it's ETC and it comes up on my browser. I think it's ETC. Something, but
ETC. I'm sorry, it's a force to have a shortcut on my toolbar, so I don't know what it is either. But it's etc.memberclicks.net, and you can find out more about the annual conference there. And our regional events that are happening, Connecting in the Cloud series that happens, and we have a lot of new exciting events and coming up soon. So just really looking forward to this year.
Awesome. And then very last thing, I did 3 very lasts in a row. That's like a rookie move as a podcaster. That's why. So my advice for you, as you continue to grow your podcast, don't do what I do. Okay. So look at everything I do and then do the opposite of that. Okay. And you'll have a successful show.
It works. You said last question, then you said last question, but not really. And now you're saying the very last question is technically.
So I'm still on. Give a shout out to that picture behind. So those people now know that you're watching this on Avixa TV and all. Talk about that picture behind you, because you moved your camera to make it in the shot. So I need to give you a shout out for that.
Well, I'm glad you noticed that. Shout out to that crew. That picture was taken on May 9, 2023. That is the very first class for the AV degree program here at Pace University. We had 20 students. We capped it at a small class. Just, you didn't want to have an open cap and be disappointed. We set a hard cap at 20 and it was filled within hours. 16 of the 20 were female students. This is something very proud. Rich and myself, we're very proud of that fact. And, they finished the class. They were so involved. They were so excited to be a part of the class. I think we had like 100% attendance after week 3. Our class was from 6 to 9 on a Tuesday. Joe, I kid you not, these kids were there past 9 o'clock every day. And it's, we were crimping cables and we were just putting stuff together. It was a wonderful, beautiful experience. I will remember this class for a long, long time to come, which is why they're up on my wall.
Love it. That is fantastic. Now, thank you so much, George, for this. Thank you for being part of the ETC preview episode. And I do encourage everybody, go in, make sure you register for the conference, join the organization. I believe in it. I believe in every opportunity we get to continue to build and grow and invest in our vertical. We have our power by our numbers and our community. And I think that's important. Invest in yourself, invest in your teams. Make sure you send 100 of your closest friends to the conference. And there you go. And you'll see George and I there. We'll be ready to rock it. We'll have some great times. It'll be a great week. So just for that, everybody, I encourage you to do that. And very lastly, all the opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of our respected institutions, DTC, Hired AV, and HETMA publications, and any sponsors of the show. And if you did not like any of these opinions, there may be better ones next time. Thank you, everybody.